just like the God energy complex is, but it didn't create the universe. It was created by or an offshoot of the God energy complex. Just like when you read about angels, they're messengers of God. They came from the God energy complex. It's the same principle.
Okay.
So it's your direct analogy. It's your direct reference.
So when you touch the higher self, it touches the God energy complex.
Indirectly. See,
Indirectly.
now this is my theory. This doesn't mean that, that there's no such thing as absolute truth, okay, including what I just said. In my world, the God energy complex has really nothing to do with us. It uses the agents to do that. So once it creates or sets out an eminence like the higher self, that's your higher self. Your higher self has nothing to do with anybody else.
Okay.
That's you. You eventually merge with it. Once you merge with it, then you rejoin the God energy complex. But in the meantime, I feel the God energy complex has nothing to do with us. Once the universe is created, you guys are on your own. It's like a franchise.
Okay.
So the higher self is perfect, though. And you will eventually, if you follow these principles correctly, merge with it and become one with it. And then there's no more karmic cycle. And then you're perfect. That's what counts.
And the spiritual guides come between the God energy complex and the higher
Spirit
self.
guides are different now. Spirit guides are not perfect. Many of them are. Most of them aren't. What spirit guides are people like you who have past lives and future lives, and they've attained a certain level of spirituality that's above you and I. Therefore, they can advise you. But they were human once.
Okay.
See, the God energy complex was never human.
Okay.
The higher self was never human. It came
Okay.
from the God energy complex.
Okay.
So these spirit guides are people who are just more advanced people,
Okay.
beings, if you will, but they're not part of the God energy complex yet. The ones that are perfect, who hang around as spirit guides, they eventually can ascend to the God energy complex, but just like the Buddha mentality, they decide not to for a while.
See, you said about the energy centers, the chakras.
Yes.
After 7 chakras, you said in the 4th and 5th dimension, they got what, 23 chakras, okay?
22 chakras.
22, okay. You see, here, in the metaphysical level, I think we'll have all 7 chakras. Each chakra will have a color and a sound, okay.
I'm not understanding. Each chakra would have a
Each
what?
chakra will have a color, like, Web Gayar. Like you said, red, orange, blue.
Yeah,
like
they have a
that.
color to it.
Okay, and then after that, even every chakra will have sound, like mantra. Okay, after the 7th chakra, after Sahasrara, you said on 22 chakras. Is there any mantras and color for that?
I don't know, because I know about the numbers.
Then how you are visualizing that?
Well, you don't have to do that. You see, you're getting a little bit too picky about it. Once you align the chakras, your higher self is going to take
But
charge.
how you got the number? You are telling about 22 chakras. Is there any evidence? But you are telling like, if it is 22 chakra, it must have some sound, it must have some color. Or when you are saying about that it's the high end.
The literature, okay, let me explain. The literature is on the 7 major chakras. You've got
Okay.
1 billion chakras in your body, but you got
Right.
7 major ones.
Okay.
The 8 chakras from the 4th dimension and the 7 chakras from the 5th dimension is in very esoteric literature.
Okay,
It's not in your religious scriptures, I can tell you that.
Right.
That's just part of the
Now,
mentality.
is it in the form of light, white light or something you said?
But let me explain. Once you align, this is the key. Don't worry about the numbers of chakras. That's not important. What's important is that once everything is aligned, white is the accumulation of all colors. Black
Okay.
is no color, right?
Okay.
So once the chakras are aligned, this is not just a white color, like the white outfit you guys are wearing.
All right.
This is a brilliant, radiant, pure, creative, godlike white color we're talking about here. So don't worry about, you don't want to worry about the details of the mechanism. We don't even know how accurate it is. We do know that the higher self knows what to do.
Okay.
The whole point of this is to connect you with the higher self. It will drive the car.
No,
You're a passenger, see?
You are speaking about merging with higher self,
Yeah?
higher self. And there is one thing called God complex. We are not going up to that level. And I say this is all mind game. We are all visualizing ourselves and going the superior aspects of the mind rather than transcending the mind. Because our goal is, as long as we play with the mind, we are all confine ourselves to earth as well as other mental planes.
Okay,
But the goal
the
is-
subconscious mind is a limiting concept. The higher self is an unlimited concept, you see. It's perfect energy. We're trying to understand, it's like, how can you have a debate with God? Who's going to win that debate, okay? Or any perfect energy source? We don't really know. These are theories and these are, paradigms that we establish, but we don't really know. It doesn't really matter. What matters is once you're connected, whatever the truth is, for example, as you go up along the ladder, let's say you're getting ready to go to the soul plane for ascension, you're going to have certain truths given to you by your higher self and maybe spirit guides, and somebody else on the exact same dimension is going to have different truths. See, there are no absolute truths. Now, when you get to the higher planes, then maybe you'll get the real truths, but we don't know what they are because we're not privy to that information until you're perfect.
I feel personally focusing on the higher self. Okay, it's well and good because we can understand the creation, whole creation, and we can utilize all the potential of our own self. But the ultimate truth, if you touch, if you understand, then we can bring that consciousness into the physical reality. Ultimate the purpose
Remember, there is no ultimate truth. Your ultimate truth is different than mine. You see how it works? That's how, it's sort of like somebody's a critic of a movie, okay? Who cares about their opinion, okay? I don't know who they are. I know what I like. I know what I don't like. I don't really care what somebody else's opinion of it. I never read a review about anything. In fact, if it's a review, I'll do the opposite because I don't agree with most people about things. So you're focusing on, we're both scientists and we have certain regimens we're trained with, and those are considered to be ultimate truths. But you know what happens in medicine. You have the pendulum, don't you? You have things that are decided at one time and then the journals go the opposite direction, right? Just like the stock market, a sine wave, basis of the universe. Well, there are no ultimate truths, so don't worry about it. The point is you don't want to get hung up on the cognition here because we don't really know what we think we know what the mechanisms are. But so let me give you an example. Since you're a physician, I'll give you a medical analogy. Do you know who the most dangerous physician is? Dangerous to the public? It's not somebody who's incompetent. It's somebody who thinks they're competent and they're not, right? You understand? So a lot of people think they know the truth. Every religion thinks they know the truth, right? And they'll kill you if you don't believe in it. Some of them do that, okay? Forget about it. There's 3,000 religions on this planet. Somebody's wrong, okay? And they're all different. My point is, don't worry about that. Okay, this is not a course on theology. This is a discipline. All religions really do, or they should have as their main purpose, ascension, right? If they don't, they're in the wrong business, right? Again, don't worry about that. What I'm saying is works for me. If you don't believe in it or like it or have a different philosophy, fine, I don't care. What I do care is about the way you run your life, though. If you're spiritual, if you're positive, if you're psychically empowered, you can worship a TV camera for all I care. But if you think you're a certain person and you're hypocritical or don't practice or violate universal laws, you're going to have a problem. My point is, if you access your higher self, you won't have those problems. Your higher self will lead you into your particular truth, whatever that is, and that will lead to perfection. Your road is different than somebody else's. That's all that matters, okay?
I would like to know, a human being, how many times he can take rebirth?
Well, it's sort of like, there is no magical answer as to how many times you do something. Everybody's different. Some people can reincarnate in 2 lives. That's the way the karmic cycle was set up, to be a parent, a child, and a mother and a father. Well, guess what? It didn't work real well, did it? So the sooner it is, it's like, you just do it at your own pace. The more you progress and use these principles and access your higher self, the shorter your karmic cycle is going to be. But there is no magical number, Understand? It just doesn't exist. Everybody's different. You can't, I know we live in a society where everybody says it takes X number of times to do something. You can't do that with this, You can't do that with most things, actually. Everybody's different. I always like it when, in America we have a census every 10 years. The Constitution requires it, right? And when they give you a census, the government gives you a form to fill out, and it says, it will take 6 minutes to answer these questions. What bureaucratic idiot comes up with this, okay? What do? Sit there with 1,000 people and figure out how long it takes to do it? They're so into numbers. Forget about the numbers, okay? You want to see the big picture. The big picture is purification of the soul, is accessing your higher self. A lot of these paradigms that we have are probably wrong. We don't know. You're going to know when you ascend, and then it's a little bit late, So don't worry about the numbers. Don't worry about the details. just access to higher self, live a spiritual life. Some of the principles I've mentioned, I'm sure you've been well trained in the others with your own literature, which is beautiful. Just live a spiritual life and it will take care of itself. Problem is when people try to put the square peg into the round hole, they run into problems. Okay, one more question before we finish up here. Yes, over here. Yes, sir. Let's get him, please.
Ultimately, at the end of the 2-day session, what message you would like to convey to this group?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, the message I was trying to give here with the summary, the message is simply practice what you preach. Follow universal laws. You're well educated as to what is spiritual and what is not. Do unto others is not a Christian principle. It's been around forever. It's the golden rule. And live a good have a good moral ethical code. Trust in your higher self. Access your higher self. And again, do unto others. If everybody on this planet practiced the golden rule, we'd have no problems, would we? We wouldn't need police forces and military, would we? Okay, how many people would do something negative to somebody if they were going to get that back themselves? And that's karma. What is karma? Karma is cause and effect, right? Energy you send out is what you get, the universal law of attraction. It's a brilliant law. It's a very significant one. So my point is, if you live a good life, yeah, there are people who are idiots in this world, and if you're very nice and kind, some people will try to take advantage of you, the statement I read out at the end of yesterday's workshop. But that's going to be a minority of the situation. Nobody wins every single thing in life. You just do your thing. Eventually, the majority of the experiences you will have in your life and the people you affect and run into and affect you are going to be positive. So live a good moral ethical code, practice what you preach, be kind, be cool, be God-oriented, and if you do that, you're not going to have any problems. And that's the message. That's what I call psychic empowerment. And by the way, the other aspect of it is empowerment. Psychic empowerment. Take charge of your life. Learn to think for yourself. Decide what you want to do. Don't just be a blind follower. That's another issue. I know it's a tough one, but that's a biggie because the universe wants you to be empowered. The universe wants you to be strong and confident and empowered. It wants you to learn how to take charge of your life because the more empowered you are, the less fearful you are. And fear determines the karmic cycle. If you move towards fear, you're going to have a long, difficult karmic cycle. If you move towards unconditional love, and that means empowerment, then you're going to be able to shorten this karmic cycle as quickly as you can. So, you know, there's an old joke about therapy. They say, you know, how many psychotherapists does it take to change a light bulb, you know? And people say, well, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4. It says, yeah, but the light bulb has to want to change, you know? So motivation, internal motivation is everything, okay? Listen, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure working with you guys. You got great energy, and I very much appreciate it. And one last concept of reincarnation. This is my first trip to Bangalore and India in general, but I will be reincarnating here. So thank you very much.
The bottom line, of course, as he summarized, is that we are all light beings. We are descendants of the Supreme Power, and we have our own abilities to help ourselves to get what individually we have as an objective in this life. He has not only covered the current life, he has helped us how to get back to our past lives, see what are the mistakes we did, and try to help not only in this life, but also look for what improved next versions of our life in parallel world we can enjoy. Now, let's all of us honor Dr. Bruce with a clap as fast as possible and as high as possible.
In America, they don't do that. In America, at the end of a workshop, they go to their BlackBerry and they get a massage. They don't necessarily do what you guys are doing, so I very much appreciate it.
Thank you once again. Now, inviting initially the organizer of this whole 2-day workshop, Shri Ramachandra Guruji, our Chief of Spiritual Solution Center. Yeah. Dr. Bruce is already here. Let me come to Sri Shankeshwar ji. Please come to the dais. Mahapatra ji. Dr. Hari. Professor Jacob. And our VIP visitor, Guruji Anand Guruji. While our volunteers are organizing for garlanding and honoring the guests, I would request our Chief, Sri Ramachandra Guruji, to say a few words to the gathering.
I would personally thank Mr. Bose coming here and enlighten our students as well as participants. This 2 days workshop, I noticed so many new techniques and new ideas, a lot of information which we didn't know before. Is that right? Good. Thank you one and all. Thank you very much.
Let's honor in a Karnataka style our revered guest and trainer, Dr. Bruce. Now let's not stay behind in our duty to honor our own chief who made this possible for us for 2 days. I request Anand Guruji to honor our Guruji. Especially thanks must go Spiritual Solution Center with all the volunteers who made it possible. Our revered guest today has flown from thousands of miles across the ocean and has made our intellectual ability improved with higher sense of understanding of our own life. We must acknowledge, not just by words, but by dynamic clapping which we earlier had. Repeat the dynamic clapping and acknowledge our guest.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Just want to make a few more, I'll take this occasion to tell a few more names. Photo and audio visuals, as Sir told, it's Yogesh, Smile Taker and team. Video mixing is done by Element Prasad. Still photos by Pinya Prasad. At the same time, the venue logistics and everything is taken care by Manjunath Shastri. And all the volunteers who helped to make this program success. And not only that, so all the sponsors and invitees who have supported us in all the way to make this program success, for them also we thank behalf of Spiritual Solution Center. And also, as I told you, sponsors, the BMTC as well as KSRTC, they are also one of the sponsors for this program. Thank you very much for them for supporting us. Hotel Ashoka, as well as the supporting team of the Hotel Ashoka also would like to thank them. Thank you very much. Thanks one and all. If at all we missed any of the name directly or indirectly, we thank them heartfully, wholeheartedly to them. Let all the success of the program go to everybody. Thank you very much.